Hey guys, Sublord here, back again with another action figure review, and today I'm very excited to be continuing my looks at the Hero Mashers monsters with the zombie skater punk himself, Bone Thrasher, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, as well as my good buddy Tee Bizz. Click the link in the description below, on over to his YouTube channel, give him a follow, let him know Overlord sent you, but don't leave him stupid comments, please. Please, for the love of God. But at any rate, a little bit of story time. I didn't talk about this in the Fishhook review from yesterday, but back in 2016, when these Hero Mashers Monsters figures were shown at Toy Fair, I did a lot of videos talking about them and the different parts and pieces that they were going to come with, because it seemed like as the show went on, they kept showing more and more and more, and by the time Toy Fair was over, Hasbro announced that these would not see the light of day in retail in the US. And I was like, so I wasted all that time making those videos that got mad crazy views, by the way. Like, people were interested in these, and Hasbro's just like, nope, we're not making them. And then lo and behold, in the summer of that year, the late great Glenn Webb, God bless him, walks into his, I want to say, Toys R Us and found these. And, you know, Glenn Webb, being the awesome guy he was known for helping people out in terms of finding stuff. So had he not passed when he did, I might have actually reached out to him about trying to obtain these years ago. But we cannot change the past, unfortunately. We can only remember it fondly for the good times it may have had. So, RIP to him. Sorry to make this a bit of a bummer video, but it is, because these are cool. These are different. These are probably some of the most awesome monster toys out there. But just like the Monster 500 line that was a Toys R Us thing, this didn't take off, unfortunately, but now they're sought after as heck and kind of hard to find on the aftermarket. So again, like I mentioned in the Fishhook video, anyone can help me out finding the werewolf and the jack-o'-lantern guy. Let me know. We'll work something out. But at any rate, why don't we cut to the chase and take a look at all Bone Thrasher has to offer in terms of accessories. He's got a skateboard. Of course he does. He's a skeleton zombie skater punk guy. He's going to have a skateboard. Has a little notch on the side there. He's got a peg for his foot. You just plug it in there. Plug it in, plug it in. Which can be easier said than done. There we go. And you can ride it around. I think this would have been a lot better with functioning wheels, but it's Hasbro. Although they did put functioning wheels on the Night Thrasher skateboard, right? From Marvel Legends. So maybe you could use that one instead, but it's probably way too small for this guy's big feet. You can throw it on his back, though, which is kind of what I do. There you go. You could throw it on his back. That's what I like to do. Just to store it. There you go. That said, I will tell you, of all the Monster Mashers, this one was probably my least favorite. But you know what? I want it anyways because it's a Monster Masher. And what's more Halloween-y than the Monster Mash? It was a graveyard smash. But I have to say, I think the main reason some of the people at Hasbro and some of the retailers that disapproved of this line disapproved of it in the first place is probably this guy. He's a zombie. He's got a skeleton arm visible there, skeleton foot. He's missing an ear, I think, maybe. Oh, he's got gauges. Does he have freaking gauges? Are you kidding me? That's hilarious if he does. He's got a rat tail. He's like a zombie scumbag. It's kind of funny. But at any rate, as far as his articulation goes, his head will look up and down. Rotate side to side. Arms will rotate all the way around. They're like almost ratcheted. No, like in and out at the shoulder like Mashers used to have, which kind of sucks. He does have the single elbow with the twist at the forearm. His hips will kick out, back down, kick forward and back. He does have a thigh cut. It's very tight on him though. Then he does have a swivel at the knee with a hinge. No ankle joints. The old ones used to have ankle joints, like full-blown like hinge and rocker. And then the feet are hollowed out for whatever reason on the later figures. As if Hasbro couldn't be any freaking cheaper. But yeah, that kind of sucks. Because if these guys were like the beginning of the line, holy bejesus, they would have been ultra bussin', we'll say. But as they are, they're still bussin', but let's face it, the early Mashers are just something else. It just feels like Wave 2 onward, they kept cutting corners. And that sucks, because I know Bobby Bala of Valaverse fame worked pretty hard on this line. Like, I think he made like most, if not all of them. But at any rate, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Bone Thrasher alongside the only other Hero Mashers monsters I currently have in my possession. Once again, courtesy of my good buddy Tee Bizz. We got Grim Flame, who, like I said in the fish hook review from yesterday, check that out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did. Is currently borrowing the Marvel Legends Skeleton Hand Ninja's hood because, well, Tee Bizz hasn't found that part just yet. Fingers crossed he does. Fingers crossed he came with a hood. It'd be really stupid if the Grim Reaper guy doesn't have a hood. That's kind of his shtick. But then we also have the aforementioned fish hook, who's probably my favorite of the three. I don't know. He kind of looks like a Skylander. He kind of looks like a yoked out creature of the Black Lagoon. He kind of looks like one of Davy Jones's crew from Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know. I get all kinds of, I don't know what the right term is, feels for this character due to all the different hues in his design he's got going on there. But getting these two out of the way. Should also be worth mentioning that Bone Thrasher also is the only one I have that doesn't have a removable crotch piece. We bring in the two regulars, Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibolith, and the infamous 11 Spawn, also a zombie, one could say. But as always, towers over everyone. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while I can appreciate the concept of a zombie skateboard punk, I have to say that of the Hero Mashers monsters that were unveiled for this first wave, good old Bone Thrasher here was probably my least favorite, but hey, you gotta take what you can get. These are not easy to get a hold of. I'm very happy to have this guy, and even if I didn't have him, I'd want him to complete the set anyways, because I like me some cool monster toys, and despite the fact that it's not exactly my cup of tea, we'll say, I would have rather have gotten a punk rock zombie, but I guess they didn't want to be redundant since they had the heavy metal werewolf with the Iron Wolf character. Kind of surprised Tee Bizz didn't pick him up. I like this figure. I think it's cool. It's better than a lot of stuff Hasbro's putting out nowadays, and a little bit more inspired, to say the least. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.